Woodward Sports Network. Let's go!
And good morning to you. It is the Morning Woodward show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. A beautiful day, as you can see the sun just glistening off my face this morning. We are live right on Woodward. My name is Stick. To my right,
what's the word? It's Corey.
Corey with the new haircut. Corey with the new haircut. Ladies, stay out the DMs today, okay? And to my left,
it is Joey. And ladies, I want you to slide into the DMs for Corey. Don't stay out.
Producer Cam over there. We got Art. Hi, Art. Pretty good. Let's make sure Art's mic is on when we're talking to Art. Can we do that today? And then we got Adham and Fish over there in the sound booth. So that's why I'm talking to different people when I'm asking to turn that sound on.
You gotta turn his bed down, Fish.
Yeah, there we go.
Adam
no,
know.
I can hear you, Art. You're live.
Oh, now I'm on mic.
Now you're on.
Turn the bed down, Fish.
No, actually, turn that bed up because it is now time for Joey's news. Let's hit it.
Good morning, everyone.
Extra, read all about it.
Let's get into Joey's news.
Let's go.
Let's go, Joey.
We got to give it up for Michigan senior Isaiah Livers because he is up as a finalist for the Julius Erving Award for the nation's top small forward, and he is so deserving of this award, averaging 14.4 points, 5.9 rebounds on the season, shooting 47.7%. And that's one of my favorite videos right there because it's from March Madness 2 years ago, which I can't wait because Michigan is going to be a #1 seed. I'm not going to say will hopefully be. I think they are going to be.
I already locked it in, right?
I got it locked in. They got a big game. I'm going to list off all the games, but they're taking on Iowa later on tonight. The Jazz are on fire. They have won 11 of their last 12 games.
Ooh, Donovan Mitchell. Ooh.
Just so clean.
So, God, we could have had him as a Piston, but we wanted Luke Kennard.
Yes. They stomped on the Lakers yesterday, 114-89. Yeah, I heard you rip on Luke Kennard just now.
That's your boy.
There's always that one pick where it's like, damn it, why'd you do that? And now you even got it this year with Halliburton.
Yeah, we'll see about that, but yeah, I wanted Halliburton.
We go to Lou Dort from 3 at the buzzer, tied up. Just watch this shot.
Oh, nice.
Tie game.
What a great feeling to hit a game-winning shot like that. Like falling down, your teammates rush over, give you the hug. You got to love that.
My favorite is he fell down like someone hit him. Like he's trying to get the and one or some free throws. Thunder did beat the Spurs. And then the last one I wanted to talk about, and we got to honestly talk about this as a whole topic. Kyrie Irving posting on Instagram, quote-unquote said, gotta happen, I don't care what anyone says, with the mock of Kobe Bryant as the new logo replacing Jerry West. And what do you guys think of that one?
I mean, that is a sweet logo. I was a big fan after Kobe passed away that push came and everybody was kind of wanting that to happen. I was all about it, man. Like, I really think that Kobe, if not in the next 5-10 years, like down the road, he will be the logo of the NBA. Corey, you kind of wanted to talk about this too. You think he should be the logo?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think he should have been the logo. I mean, I think that eventually he would have been the logo anyway if he didn't pass or not. So I'm totally for the change, honestly.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that because I got some opinion on that as well. But a couple games I wanted to tell you about tonight to make sure you are watching. Like I said, number 9 Iowa taking on number 3 Michigan, 7 p.m. tonight. Luka Garza taking on Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, Hunter Dickinson.
And I did some research on these two. I didn't know this, but they've known each other since 8th grade. So this is a little friendship rivalry, but tonight, screw that friendship. Dickinson is going to whoop his ass tonight.
All right, Joey.
Yes. Can MSU pull off another upset, though, guys? They are taking on number 4 Ohio State at home, 9 p.m. tonight. And then the last of the games, Nashville Predators at LCA taking on the Detroit Red Wings, 7:30 p.m. 2 nights. And I just wanted to start the show by giving my people in downtown Fenton some love. And that is my people at Bridge Street Exchange, the entire team there, Kevin. They're actually, got to tell you guys about what they're hooking me up with right now. I'm getting a little ring that I'm going to show for you guys. Little wedding band that I got to start wearing. A sweet one that they customized for me, but If you check out BridgeStreetExchange.com, 15% off by using the code word WSN. So take advantage of that. They got all things that a man wants to shop
Did you
for.
really just phrase it though as wedding band I gotta wear soon?
Yeah, I don't like jewelry as you can tell.
Yeah.
I don't like any type of jewelry. So I'm not pissed that I gotta wear this. Obviously, that's part of the commitment. You gotta wear a wedding ring, but
You're not looking forward to it?
I just don't like anything. Like even trying it on, like I have a fear of this thing getting stuck on my finger.
Yeah. You definitely got to get used to it. I wore my ring for the longest time on my right hand because this was my grandfather's Masonic ring. So you wear it on your right hand. And then when I got married, I switched it over. And the switch over was even an issue for me. It was like, this is uncomfortable. I don't like this. It like pulls on the middle of your fingers here. But you get used to it. Like it embeds itself in there to where when you don't have it on, you feel naked.
So do you ever take it off, like when you shower and all that?
No.
Oh, so you just leave it on?
Yeah, this ring's on. Like I will fight to the death for this ring.
Yeah, that's
Like,
awesome.
this-
Especially from your grandfather. That's great.
Yeah, you'll have to cut this off my finger if you guys want to take this ring from me. That's how serious I take this ring. So yeah, congratulations, Joey.
Thank you so much.
on your commitment.
Thank
I can't wait for your wedding. That's
You
gonna be
didn't
fun.
get an invite.
I know.
love how you just self-invite yourself.
I'm going whether you want me there or not, so I just can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome. Let's get back to something you covered in your news because we talked about it a little bit, but I want to get more in depth into it. The Kobe Bryant logo change. Kyrie Irving, he tweeted it out, and like I said, I was fully in support of changing it for Kobe. The only thing I don't like what Kyrie did about this whole tweet is he says, it's got to happen. I don't care what anybody says. And then in all caps, Black Kings built the league. And it's like, okay, you can have that opinion. That's
Right.
fine. We'll give that to you. But let's keep this about Kobe being the greatest of all time and why he deserves a logo because of how he played, not because of what he looks like. And that's the only thing I thought Kyrie kind of did himself a disservice by putting that on there because it changes what it's about at that point.
No, it doesn't.
It
not
does?
at all. No, not at all. I think if we're talking about somebody being the NBA, the logo of the NBA, we're not going to say let's make Robert Horry the NBA logo because he's a black guy. Obviously, we're going to put Kobe Bryant up there because of what he's done in the league.
Right.
I think.
So why?
I think what Kobe. I mean, here's the thing. I think a lot of times, and this is just from my experience, I think people that are not black sometimes may have an issue with, especially in this day and age, with the heightened sensitivity of racism and whatnot. A lot of black people are taking a lot more pride in being black. They're black figures. So I think he was just simply saying like, hey, black players did really build the NBA. The NBA's viewership right now is over 48% black, making it the top sport in North America that does not have a predominantly white audience. The NBA is over 75% black. So I mean, I don't have a problem with what he said. Only people that will, in my opinion, have a problem with what him saying that is they just have a problem with the facts of it. I mean, I don't think he's just saying like white over black or just trying to
Then
make
why
it.
include it though? That's my point. Like, I don't think it needed to be added to like make the point that Kobe should be the logo. That's the only thing. Like to me, like I said, I agree. I think Kobe should be the logo. But now when it becomes a race issue, it's like, why is this a race issue? It's like the guy was the greatest player, one of the greatest players of all time. Period. I don't care if he was purple. He should be the logo.
Hey, I just think that's his opinion because that's what he feels. Black players did build the NBA and they're keeping the NBA going. So I don't have a problem with it at all. It's just an opinion.
Art, what you got? Make
Yeah.
sure his mic's on.
Yeah, I have a question. Who is the greatest NBA player of all time? Let's do a vote real quick. And I'm bringing this up for a
That's
reason.
such a debate. I mean, it depends on how
honestly,
you want to measure it.
If you want to go off of statistical accomplishments, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
Hands down. He's won on every level. He has 5 NBA MVPs, 6 titles. He has the most points of all time. I mean, if you go down pretty much any metric, you can say Michael Jordan, and that will be a good argument, of course, but it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah, there's really a handful of players you can put in this argument. There's Kareem. You got Bill Russell if you want to make the rings argument. You got Jordan if you want to make the most dominant player argument. You got Kobe if you want to make probably the most transcendent player argument. And then you got LeBron if you want to make the most impressive physical specimen and all-around basketball player argument. So to me, there's a handful hole that we could sit around all day, and it really depends on how you like. Most rings, Bill Russell's got a ton of rings. He's got more than everybody. He's the best of all time.
So here's the reason why I bring that up. Why don't we let the players and coaches of the league vote and decide who should be the new logo?
Kobe would win that in a heartbeat.
Well, then it shouldn't be a debate. Then we're not playing the sport; they are. So to me, it should be their opinion.
Honest question though: do you guys think Kobe gets this because of what he's achieved or because he passed away?
I think it accelerated it.
It's a bit of both because I think he would have eventually become the logo. I don't think that Michael Jordan would become the NBA logo because the Jumpman logo is already its
NBA
own
can't
entity.
afford the Jumpman logo.
It's its own thing, and
That's a good
its own
point.
thing in itself. And also, too, right now, just look at some of the NBA statement jerseys. I believe they already now wear the Jumpman logo. So
the
Jordan
Pistons
already
do.
has his imprint on the league. The one thing that I just do agree with is that Jerry West should not be the logo at all. He even said that he hated that it got off that he is the logo.
Right.
We talk about LeBron James clutch performances. Jerry West is 1-8 in the finals. I don't know how he's called Mr. Clutch.
I don't know, but it is a sweet logo with Jerry West. Like that, I think it's just more the silhouette that they liked of Jerry West, not really making him the logo.
That's what they said it was, I thought.
Yeah, because 9 times out of 10, at least today, you ask somebody who the NBA logo is, they don't know it's Jerry West. Oh, and let's make sure Art's mic's on.
It's an outdated logo. Like it's outdated. If we're gonna do a rebrand, then let's do it right and honor someone who is an important part of the organization.
Yeah, to go back to that logo, do you like that they use the actual picture of Kobe, or do you think it should be his silhought, like kind of like the Jerry West thing?
No,
it's
should
gotta
definitely
be a silhouette.
It's got to
Okay.
be a silhouette.
All
Like
right.
even when the WNBA changed their logo, it's I actually like their new logo honestly, but it's a silhouette. You got to keep it a silhouette.
Yeah, that's not a logo. That's like a player card right there.
So, I mean, when do you think they're going to make this change, if they make this change? Do you think it's going to be in the next, 2 to 5 years? Or, I think if they do make it, it's like a decade away.
Yeah, it's not going to be anything rushed. It will be about at least 10 to 15 years in the making.
What's
Okay.
crazy about that, though, because if it is 5 to 10 or 15 years in the making, LeBron will obviously be retired at that point, and then he's going to be hands down one of the greatest to ever play the game. So you start to look at this, and it's like, all right, are you just giving it to Kobe because he passed away? And I mean, listen, no disrespect to that, because I think he is one of the greatest to ever play the game, but what will be the deciding factor in this? Because there's obviously all those names that we had just mentioned, some of the greatest to ever play the game.
Well, I think it starts with people like Kyrie Irving kind of putting the pressure on the league and putting the vibe out there to everybody. And, once it gets enough momentum going, then I think you'll see it happen. But there's got to be some public, I don't want to say pressure, because it's honestly the right thing to do. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's obviously, when he passed away the way he did so tragically, became an icon that he already was, but he became even more of an icon, because now we're always going to sit here and wonder what if with Kobe, and then 20 years down the road, man, what would Kobe be doing right now? Or, he'd be sitting courtside at G's game. It would be, there's just so many things that happen when you pass away. It's almost like an artist. Your work becomes more valuable, and it becomes more important because we're never going to see it again. And so I think eventually we'll get there. But, yeah, I like the sentiment of it. I just wish Kyrie would have kept it about basketball. That's all. That's really, for me personally. And it's not like I'm offended by it. It's just like, all right, cool, I agree. All right, I just, who cares about the other part? He was the greatest player of all time.
I care about it.
You
I
do?
loved it.
Okay.
I mean, you're of course proud of that to
Yeah.
hear it. But to Stick's point, I mean, not that Stick's not proud to see a black man on the logo.
No.
It's just you don't got to throw it on everything like that. That's where I see.
Well,
where
when
you
it's
come
in
from.
all caps and it's the second, it's just like that became more of the point than the point, and that's all. That's all I'm saying. It took away.
It only becomes more of the point than the point if you want to just focus on that and take offense
It's
to it.
all caps, and like I
Hey.
said, I don't take offense
Not
to
offense.
it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying.
It's all caps. How do you not focus on it?
It's like I said, it's only a problem if you choose to have a problem with it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying it took away from what the point was supposed to be.
I disagree because again, you just can't. If it's Kobe, so again, he's not saying just any black player. It's Kobe. It's just that he's just honoring him as a black king.
So
in
if
his
Kobe
eye.
was white, would he be cool with him being the logo?
I don't know. Gotta ask Kyrie.
I think we will, but that's what I'm saying. Now that question can be asked because of the statement. So anytime you muddle what your real point is about the importance of making Kobe the logo and honoring his greatness, and then you throw that in all caps at the end, it's just like, dude, okay. Like, okay.
I
Like,
mean, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Black
exactly. It's
black
like,
players
oh,
did. Black
okay.
players build the league. So he's saying, let's honor the black king that Kobe Bryant is. Again, it's only a problem if you just choose to try to find like, oh, he said black kings. That's just overdoes everything. It doesn't overdo the point. It's just hey,
Yeah.
he added that in there because that's what he felt.
But he added in there in all caps. That's what I'm saying. Like, he wanted it to be the topic of conversation.
Are you sure about that? He's just honoring it. I don't know what the fixation on the whole caps is. He's just honoring a black king. What's the problem?
I don't have a problem. Like I said, once again, I'm not
because
offended.
you keep focusing on the caps. It's
No,
gotta be a
I'm
problem.
saying it's taking away. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying he could have focused solely on Kobe's greatness instead of focusing on Kobe's blackness.
But
that's
he chose
all.
not to. So
Right,
It's the big
and that's
deal.
all I'm saying. I wish he would have chose maybe in a separate post to honor his blackness after he honored his greatness. What's up, Art?
Why can't you do both at the same time?
Yeah,
You
and I
can,
think,
but it takes away from it.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
it takes away in your opinion though.
Yeah.
But I think that it doesn't take away from it because of what we're going through in this country. Like,
Okay.
it's not like, this isn't like, oh, it's just another black guy complaining. Like, no, there's some real divide in this country. And you look at, like, the national anthem, you look at all these issues that are coming up. I think he was just honoring a great African-American athlete. It's just how you perceive it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's still Black History Month. That's all I took it as it.
So that's what you think? If it was outside of Black History Month, you wouldn't put that in there?
Probably still would have put it in there because of just
okay, then.
how Kyrie is. I'm just saying during Black History Month.
And didn't you say
it's
Kyrie was your least favorite athlete?
he's my least favorite athlete, but it's just like you have to be able to compartmentalize when you there are different opinions. Kyrie can say something very stupid in the next 2 hours, and I'll disagree hard with it. But at the same time, he can say something that I think where I can kind of understand where he's coming from and give him, back his opinion in it.
Yeah, well, my opinion is I just wish he would have solely focused on basketball. It's okay that he mentioned that he was black, and obviously Kobe was black, so it's factually accurate. But I think if you separate those things, the initial point is more powerful to me, and that's all. So we just wanted to talk about that. I think the logo looks sweet.
Badass logo.
Yeah, I would rock that logo all day. So hopefully one day Kobe does get the logo because he did deserve it. And even though I hated him in 2004.
I just hope that is not the silhouette, because I hope the silhouette of Kobe is the one where he's dunking on. No, not even that.
Oh,
the one where
not
he's
the fadeaway?
No, the one where he's dunking on Dwight. That needs to be the silhouette. I don't know how it's too big of a probably it's too big to make it like that, but they'll figure it out.
Truthfully, if you're Dwight Howard and the logo is you getting slammed, I know it's Kobe. I know it's the GOAT, but are you offended a little bit?
Hell no, I'm in the logo still.
Right. It's like the evolution of being posterized. Like, you just got logoed. Like,
That's next level.
right. Like, you're not on a poster. You're on a logo, son.
I'm gonna be everywhere for life.
Right.
Or at least the next 50 years.
Getting dunked on. The other picture I did like for Kobe is, because he had that patented turnaround fadeaway.
Yeah.
And that fadeaway shot is a beautiful silhouette of him, too.
Only thing is, you could still kind of that fadeaway shot. You could kind of think that is still Dirk almost, because he admittedly took the Dirk that fadeaway.
Yeah,
off
but the
one
way he
leg.
releases is different, though. Like, he has that.
They got to get the hand motion right, because if they get the leg motion and the form, that's Dirk. He even said that.
The Dirk with the one knee up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends on which one they
Yeah,
get.
what other silhouettes, like, outside of Kobe, like, Shaq hanging on the rim like he used to, that's kind of a cool silhouette that they could use. I'm trying to think, are there any Pistons, like, silhouettes that would be cool as the NBA logo? Art, what you got?
One, half of the Pistons players on the bench. That'd be great,
What are you doing?
Just a whole bench of players.
Like Ben Wallace, like when he had the fro, like his face would have been cool. Just trying to think of other people that have like signature shots or looks.
Man, it's not many.
No, it's hard. Tim Duncan posting somebody up. That would be an exciting logo. What you got, Adam?
Allen Iverson's crossover.
Iverson, like way out here, like the and one logo. I could see that.
Man, I hate that they did that. They when they changed that crossover rule, that messed up Iverson's whole game. Well, I don't say it messed it up, but it took away how effective he was with that crossover.
Yeah. The Jordan logos people are mentioning. Ben blocking Shaq, that would be a good one. Dirk, that would be a decent one. So, yeah, if you could think of any other one, drop it in the chat on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And thank you to everybody that's listening on the app right now, too. We appreciate you. That was just a fun conversation, man. I wanted to get into it. I think the logo will change. I hope it does at some point. And when it does, they're going to sell a whole bunch of new merch because people are going to run out to get their Lakers jersey with the Kobe logo on it.
Oh, yeah.
And then all the older jerseys, those are going to be worth a lot more money, too.
You know what's going to suck, though, for the Pistons? Not only are they wearing Jordan brand jerseys, it'll have Kobe on the logo. Like, two of our hated rivals for the Pistons will be on our chest forever.
At least in the Pistons' defense, Kobe Bryant, of all the teams that he played against, when he dropped his highest scores, the Pistons were the lowest.
Yep.
He didn't drop more than 40, and they beat him in the finals. And then they wouldn't even just beat; it was domination. It was a gentleman's sweep. So
Gentleman's sweep. I love that term.
They can at least have that over. Like, all right, Jordan, Kobe, we at least kicked his ass.
Yeah. No, we took it to them. That 5-game sweep. I'll never forget Game 5, man. What an awesome series that was. Let's take a 15-second break. When we come back, we just switched up the logo. Now we get to pick a new name for an NFL team. The Washington football team is looking for a new name. They have some entries, and we can discuss what we want it to be coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network. I mean, we're inside Grove Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now?
Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice.
Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan. Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show, live right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're on Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You can live stream us on our app. It is free for download right now at your Apple Store. And, of course, you can follow us on all social media platforms at Woodward Sports. So we were just talking about the logo change that could happen in the NBA. But we know one thing is definitely happening in the NFL, and that is a team name change for the Washington football team.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Why?
I don't know. Part of me, like,
I know where you're going with this.
Listen, I get the whole logos being offensive, but I hate when they just this whole cancel culture of where we are with changing logos. Like, that's the logo. Just leave it the way it is. I get that if there's something super offensive, you got to change it. But I love the football team.
Yeah, that's the one thing. That's the only thing I take offense to is I actually love the football team.
Me too.
It's hilarious.
The first one to ever do that.
Right.
And it's like, all right, if you change the logo on them, you can't change the logo again on these fans. It's the football team. That's it.
That's where I was going with it. I mean, the Redskins, you had to change it from that name.
Right.
But the football team, I was like, the Washington football team. But as they grew on for the whole season, I'm like, that does make them just stick out.
Right.
Just out of, regardless of what goes on with them, they're the Washington football team. I'm not too opposed to it.
And I thought it was the biggest troll job ever by the GM and the organization. Like, all right, we'll be the most vanilla name you can ever imagine. We're the Washington football team. Nobody's ever going to be able to come at us again. We've covered our bases. And obviously, you should be smart enough not to get in those situations to begin with. Yeah. But I love the troll job of, all right, we're just going to be the football team. Fuck it.
There's Lions fans, there's Barrett's fans, Vikings fans, and then football team fans.
Football team fans. So the Washington football team, they're doing a contest. I think this is a BS contest. Like, they already got the name picked out. Yeah, they already know what they're going to do.
Smart as hell, though.
But last year, when they were trying to decide a name, like, some dude in Washington bought all the domains for all the names that they were thinking of because they released them without purchasing the domains first. So it screwed them on a lot of names that they couldn't use.
So smart.
So now they have fans submitting names. Art, you got some of these, and this one is this is Washington, and they didn't really give them a mascot on this helmet. It's just a cool design for the Washington helmet. Like, I think that's sweet. That's a dope helmet.
That's dope. You know, I actually like the lettering they have now as opposed to that one. It looked like it's doing a little bit
W?
too much for me.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I like that look. And then let's go to the next one. This is the one I love. Is this, obviously the Rhinos, baby?
Yeah.
The Rhinos. Dear Washington football team, I would like to recommend that your team becomes the Washington Rhinos. I believe this would be a good name because rhinos are fierce, ferocious, and powerful creatures feared by all. You can even use these as your logo and mascot.
Oh, he signed off the rights on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
he already gave him the rights.
Okay, awesome.
Look at the difference between the bottom rhino and the top one, though. Like, that bottom rhino looks mean as hell.
Yeah, so it looked like almost two different people drew it.
Right. One was the dad. Like, come on,
Yeah.
son. I'll draw you a good rhino. All right, let's go to the next one. The Washington Justice.
I actually did like this one.
It's a dope logo. How they
Yeah.
use the 3 pillars as the pillars of the building.
I thought that was
Let's make sure Art's mic's on.
That's actually pretty genius.
Yeah, no, they did it in like the 2 stripes are like the step walking up to the Capitol building. Like that's
my favorite one actually.
Is it of all
Yeah,
of them?
that was one of my favorite ones.
I like this next one is very confusing. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
No, go ahead, Corey. What you thinking on that one?
Okay, you already changed the name from the Redskins, and then you go to the Generals and you go, him?
Him?
I'm like, all right. I mean, you're gonna have to change that name in about another 6 months if you go to because then somebody's gonna talk about George Washington being a slave owner. So
Yeah.
it's like,
You better not put that statue up in front of the arena because that shit's going to be torn down within 30 days.
I looked at it and I'm like, if they didn't, the name is not bad.
Right.
The logo is.
But that's the thing. Like, no matter what now, if they use a person, like, how do they make this person acceptable to everybody? If it's George Washington, it's like, dude, we don't want that colonizer on here.
Yeah.
All right.
There'll never be a perfect individual enough.
Right, but
besides Jesus, you gotta put Jesus on the logo. That's the only way.
If you make this general black too, then it's gonna be like, why'd you make the general black? What are you guys trying to do? If they make him brown, it's like, what are you doing?
Kind of do something like the New England Patriots logo, where it's like it's a person, but it's not like a. It's an
icon more so.
Yeah, it's like more like an icon. Like it's the color of the jersey.
Yeah. So the Washington Generals, I do like the name.
I love the name.
May have to reconsider the logo. The next one, I really like this too. I don't know if.
Yeah, I like the DC sales. It was just a lot of names saying.
Yeah, and I honestly I don't know if this infringes on military and is it disrespecting the Navy SEALs and are they using things that they shouldn't use. But I like this look. I think it's a cool look.
Yeah, it's not bad.
The logo on the right's
I'm
nice,
indifferent
man.
on it. The logo is cool, but I'm indifferent on that one.
The name just said it was doing a lot for me. I like the idea of it.
Okay, and then let's get into the next one.
This is my personal favorite.
Is it?
Yeah.
The Washington Wolves.
Hated it.
What? You hate it?
I hate it. I think it's the name for me because I just immediately think Minnesota Timberwolves and I think of losers. So, it's just hard.
Yeah, it doesn't sound hard. Like Wolves? No, football team sounds hard.
Joseph, have you ever seen a wolf in real life? Thank you.
Thank
you
you.
don't want to.
Have
It's
you
a
seen
wolf.
a football team in real life?
Have you seen a general in real life? I do like that they're using the Wayne State W though on that helmet. That looks like the Wayne
That
State
does
W.
look like the Wayne State W.
Yeah, doesn't it?
That looks nothing like the Wayne State W.
Really?
It's
got the curves.
Oh, you know what? The Wayne State.
The top.
If at a quick glance it looks like it, but when you look at it more, it doesn't look like it. But at a quick glance, yeah.
But I think they should make a more fierce looking wolf. Like that wolf just kind of looks like a Disney wolf, like the bad guy.
You're insane. That wolf looks terrifying.
No, he doesn't. It looks like he's a bad guy
He
in
looks like
Lion King.
It looks like it does look kind of Detroit Palish.
Oh, there you go. All right. The next one, Art. This is my favorite one, and I think it does a great job of not only honoring people that have served this country, but also shedding light on a group of people that not too many people know about with the Red Tails. And if you don't know about the Red Tails, search them, look them up. Actually, very inspiring story about African Americans being the first pilots and stuff like that. And I love this logo.
I love the name. I love the logo, but I'm not gonna lie. I elected Red Tails when it first came out, then I just started falling in love with the football team.
No, for real.
So it's kind of like I'm in a rock and a hard place.
That's the thing. Like, we've had it for a full year now.
Right.
So it's like, I want to know how well the merch sales did for that, because a lot of it has to do with, all right, if they did sell like a shit ton of merch, that's just wrong to do to your fans.
Yeah, you're double dipping. Like, to me, it's the definition of double dipping. You've got Washington Redskins, and then that went away. Then you go to Washington football team, make a little bit of money, and then another new team. Like, it's just, you're making the fans buy multiple sets of merch.
It's like the NBA with LeBron James, all these trades.
So the
It's money.
NBA does it every year. I mean, they switch up all these new statement jerseys, city jerseys. I mean, NFL does it with different jerseys too. I just think it's just the nature of the beast.
Listen, I went to a Washington football game 2 years ago in D.C., and there are no fans. They're not messing with anybody's pocketbook. There's nobody buying merch for this team. Like, honestly, I was able to get tickets like 7 rows up for $20 because the fans were boycotting the team, not going, and there were more Lions fans in that stadium that was maybe 1/8 of the way filled than anybody. Like, to the point where they shot T-shirt cannons into the stands. I caught a Redskins T-shirt, chucked that bitch back onto the field. It rolled into the end zone, and they had to go clean it up.
No,
and,
you did.
Dude, I swear to God, you could call Jonah right now, and if Tracy was still alive, she would tell you this story because it was one of her favorites. Like, and honestly, I've never caught a T-shirt at a Tigers game, a Pistons game, a Lions game, but I go to fucking Washington, and I catch this T-shirt, and I'm like, what do I do with this thing? I just launch it back on the field. It rolls into the end zone. They have to run out there during the play and get it. All the Redskins or all the Washington football team fans in the stands are like yelling at me, calling me an asshole. All the Lions fans in the stands are giving me a high five. Like, it was an amazing experience.
That's so good.
So yeah, if you ever go there, it literally driving in and listening to their sports talk radio, you could just transpose, back then it was the Redskins, you could transpose Redskins with Lions, fans calling in saying the exact same thing. Like, every sports commentator saying the exact, we need a quarterback, we don't have this, our ownership sucks. Like, it really made me comforted to know, as a Lions fan, I could travel to other cities and it sounds the exact same way.
I mean, but Washington ownership really does suck. I mean, at least the Lions have had, I don't want to say some good luck, but we've been able to have some type of watchable football before the Matt Patricia era. I can't even remember Washington having any redeeming football outside of that 1 year RG3 got them to the playoffs.
That's their recent history. But if you go back, I mean, Joe Gibbs was a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
They had their run. They beat our ass in '91 when we were trying to make it to the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah.
You know, as much as I hate them, I would still trade histories with them, which sucks.
Just been a bad Dan Snyder era, really.
Oh yeah, Dan Snyder's an idiot, like a pure idiot. But he owns an NFL team, so he's a rich idiot. Like, that's all I got to say about Dan Snyder. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, this is a story that I've actually been following for almost a year. Detroit Lion Quintez Cephus is suing Wisconsin because of the way they handled his case. And if you aren't familiar with the Quintez Cephus case, we'll get you up to date with that coming up next, and we'll discuss this lawsuit right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you for listening on the app and following us on all of our social medias: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitch. Did I miss anything? YouTube. Yeah, we everywhere. We're everywhere, baby.
Most importantly, though, the app. You got to download the Woodward Sports Network app because it's just the most convenient way to listen to your favorite show.
Yeah, and eventually that app is going to be filled almost 24 hours a day with content. So anytime you turn it on, we will have something for you, which is awesome. I can't wait to program that.
That's going to be real fun.
It's going to be amazing. So let's talk a little bit about Quintez Cephus. Like I said, if you don't know about Quintez Cephus and his story, the Lions were able to draft him in the 5th round of last year's draft, and he should have probably been a 2nd or 3rd round pick. The reason he fell in the draft is because he had to take a year off at Wisconsin. He was suspended from the program. He was accused of raping 2 young women. That case went to trial. It came out that it was a consensual threesome that he had with those young ladies. There were text messages absolving him from any wrongdoing. It got to the point where even the jury, when they were delivering their decision, apologized to Quintez Cephus that he had to go through this. And I know we talk about how women a lot have to protect themselves and be aware of their surroundings and make sure that they're making smart decisions. As a man, I've also had to have not this conversation with myself, but something that I also have to realize is men, you can't put yourself in those types of positions either. And it's unfortunate that there's people that are out there that will take advantage of both men and women. But that's the reality that we live in as a society. And unfortunately for Quintez Cephus, he got sucked up in a lie. He got sucked up into something that damn near ruined his life. And all because these girls wanted attention. And I'm trying to hold my words back from being too abrasive to these girls.
I mean, realistically, you can't. I mean, there's nothing that you could say that's wrong on a matter like this, because this is something that's so serious.
Yeah.
It's a problem that you should never joke about. And then you look at these 2 girls and what they did. When you lie about that, you bring the severity to this. You lessen it for other cases because you're not defending them. And if you lie about something like this, it's just so wrong, because this is something that you do not mess with.
Yeah, and I don't want to play the victim as a man by any stretch of the imagination, but, you know, we've worked in the radio business for a long time. We've hosted nightclubs. We've been around drunk girls constantly, right, Joey? And in those situations, you're putting yourself at risk because that girl could misinterpret something, or something could happen to where anything she says, she's going to get the benefit of the doubt. And you know that as a young man. I know that if somebody accused me of rape or somebody accused me of physically harming them, I'm guilty till I prove myself innocent. And like I said, I'm not going to sit here and play men are the victim, but that is a reality for young men that are out in public and doing things like this.
I think it's the reality, too, because there are not harsh enough penalties against women who falsely accuse men of rape. And I empathize with anybody who's been raped or they've been sexually assaulted. I actually stopped my friend in the middle of stopped my friend from being in the middle of a date rape. Somebody drugged her drink. I kind of noticed she was like not herself, and the dudes were trying to, get her, go away with her. And I'm like, nah, she good. I got her. So I took care of the night, and, when the next morning I say, hey, go straight to the hospital, found out that she had date rape and ecstasy in her drink.
Wow.
So it's like in situations like that, what you said, women got to protect themselves, and then also too on the men's side is like he almost became like Brian Banks. You guys familiar with that story? Mm-hmm. Brian Banks coming out of high school was verbally committed to USC. Woman falsely accused him of rape. He did 6 years. He didn't get out until he was able to kind of almost, I think he tricked her into like a message of telling on herself, and then that's how he got out.
Yeah.
So it's going to continue. I empathize with anybody who has been a victim or assaulted, but it's not playing the victim when when you're worried about men being falsely accused, and we're seeing a lot of instances of it coming up.
Yeah, obviously the biggest case that I can remember in my lifetime is the Duke lacrosse case. Like a whole team's life got destroyed because of a lie. And if you ever watch the 30 for 30 on that, it's crazy how that turned out, because it's not only that the girl lied, it's that a politician paid her to lie because he wanted the African-American vote in North Carolina, and he thought being on her side, like, that is just such a twisted web, that whole story. And unfortunately, like 20 kids paid the price for it. Duke lost their whole lacrosse season. These kids lost scholarships. They're marred for life. This is on their record. But anyways, getting back to Quintez Cephus, he is suing Wisconsin for the way they handled this case.
Hard to blame him.
I mean, think about what was the draft picks that you were saying that he was supposed to be before all this went down?
He would have been a second or third round pick, and that's just me on my talent evaluation.
Right.
But we got him in the 5th round, and honestly, when you go back and watch his film in college and you watch what he accomplished at Wisconsin, he was clearly at minimum a 3rd round pick.
When did it come out that he was not proven guilty?
Well, they reinstated him back in Wisconsin after he was found not guilty, but he lost an entire season.
Right.
And then when he was reinstated, Wisconsin goes 10-4. They have a good season, and everybody knows this kid's talented. I mean, he's very talented. We were very lucky to land him where we landed him, and I think some teams actually stayed away from him because of character issues, even though he was falsely accused, which eventually cost him money. You know, like 3rd round picks get paid a lot more than 5th round picks just trying to make the roster. So he's suing Wisconsin, and this is what his lawyer says. He wants to set a precedent so schools are more careful and more diligent on how they proceed on cases and not just sort of rushing ahead to judgment when they know for a fact they did not have all the evidence. So what he's feeling is that they had the text messages showing that it was consensual, but Wisconsin just overlooked it. Let's make sure Art's mic is up. What's up, Art?
Yeah, so my question is this. So he's suing the state of Wisconsin then. What about the girls that were involved? And no criminal charges, no civil lawsuits, nothing like that? Because to me, when you make a false accusation like that, you have to pay for that. Like whether you're male, female, it doesn't matter. Like you're accusing someone of doing something that it never happened, and that person has to live with that for the rest of their life.
I mean, to me, the penalty should be very simple. Whatever he would have gotten if he was found guilty for rape, they should get the same exact sentence.
Amen.
Like, it's such a logical step. Like, you accuse someone of rape, and you're proven beyond a reasonable doubt wrong, because there's always going to be cases where somebody accuses, and there's not enough evidence, but they still did get raped, right?
Well, and you see this a lot with, death row cases, too, to where someone's up for, murder, they're on death row, they're about to die, literally, by the hands of the law, and then it gets washed out, and it's, oh, you get released, you're good. It's like, what about all that time and energy that, Quintez went through? What about all that emotional strain, all that money that he lost?
I know, and that's the thing. Like, how do you make that up? And even if he does win the lawsuit, it doesn't change anything. Like,
He's
at least a year of his life was ruined, period.
Yeah. He doesn't get anything back. Nobody who's on the bad of a situation like Cephus or Brian Bakes, they don't get anything back, which is why there needs to be harsher penalties for people who do these false accusations, because it will make them think twice about ruining somebody's life over their own personal feelings. If it really happened to you, by all means, go to the authorities and go through the proper channels to report it. But if you're just doing this just to ruin somebody's life and get back at them, and it's totally 100% false, you should face you should face the harshest penalty that any person can face for that type of crime.
I just don't understand law, because my biggest issue with this is you have the evidence. He had the evidence from the day he found out that he was getting sued for this.
Right, and that's why he's suing Wisconsin.
It makes no sense to me. Like, how can you ruin his life for an entire year just for this because of what you heard?
So here's what they're saying is happening at Wisconsin. Wisconsin has a history of overlooking charges and overlooking young women coming forward. Like, I mean, you saw it with Larry Nassar at Michigan State University. Women came forward for years and years and years and years and years, and Michigan State did absolutely nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
And like, that whole athletic department should be ashamed of themselves to this day for how they handled it, and anybody involved in it should be ashamed of themselves. But Wisconsin kind of did the same thing. Like, they had reported rape cases on campus, and they just kind of brushed them under the rug. We need tuition. We need girls to feel safe here. We need people to come to the college. And that's exactly why he's suing them, because he feels that they proceeded quickly without evidence, even going against contradictory evidence to make this happen because he was a high-profile athlete there, and if they make an example out of him, they've done something.
And that's the issue with this, is that they used him as an example.
Yep.
And I don't know if defamation is the right word on something like this, but I mean, it definitely ruined his name.
Yeah, well, according to the article, it says they say that the school acknowledged it had unsuccessfully attempted to obtain evidence and went ahead with disciplinary hearings anyway. So even like they knew that they didn't have it, but they're like, you know what? We got to make an example of this guy. Because if we don't make an example of him, it's going to seem like we don't care about this at all, when literally their actions for the past 10 years made it seem like they didn't care about it at all.
And just the story on this is passage in this paragraph in this Yahoo story just makes it seem like they want to use Cephus as the scapegoat to clean to wash away their quote unquote sins, and it's backfiring in there, rightfully so.
Yeah, so, we're going to see how this lawsuit winds up. I messaged Quintez Cephus. I'm going to try to get him on the show because I think hearing his side of the story is so important, and just people understanding what happens when you make these false allegations. It's really life-changing for these kids, and, nobody should have to go through that. And, on the same side of the coin, no woman should ever have to feel assaulted or that they've gone through any sexual type of situation that they do not consent to.
There's a common factor in both of those things. Women who are sexually assaulted, their lives are quote unquote messed up.
Oh yeah, God.
And the men who are falsely accused, their lives are messed up.
Yep.
So it's just an ugly double-edged sword in that situation.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how this comes out. And also, to your point, Joey, I'm going to be interested to see if he's also going to countersue the plaintiffs in the case for falsely accusing him. We'll find out.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. I mean, you don't just brush this to the side.
No. If I'm going at him, I'm going at him. Like, I'm going to take the whole university down with me too, because if that's how they're going to treat me, then all right.
Like these two women should be not that this makes the situation any better, but they should have to deal with this for the rest of their life, just as how Quintez Cephus is from that one season that he had to go out.
Yeah, so we'll follow this closely, and we'll let you know. I'm a big fan of Quintez Cephus. I think he's going to be a great Lion. I really do think he's going to be a great Lion, and I got him on my Dynasty team, so I'm hoping he will be a great Lion.
We really need him to be a great Lion. We got no receivers at this point.
So, yeah, but make sure, we'll keep you up to date on that. And also, make sure you hit up growgreenmi.com today for all your grow needs. They have everything that you need, from the soil to the nutrients to the light, and great deals. They call them dank deals. I call them great deals. They just got deals. And whatever you need, you could go to Grow Green. It's in Whitmore Lake. You got the address on the screen right now. Or you can give them a call, 810-299-2900. And make sure you mention Woodward Sports. They'll hook you up with some free swag. But honestly, the guys there are so fun. You saw the commercial that Joey and I recorded there. They just had fun with us. And they're a local company, strictly from Michigan, doing big things, whether you have a small basement grow or you got a couple warehouses that you want to stock up. Grow Green MI, they got the best prices. Make sure you hit them up for your grow needs. We got Terry Foster here. He's sitting over in the other room. He's going to be on about 9 a.m., and that's always fun when we have Terry in. And Corey, rumor is you got to watch yourself today.
Oh, man. I don't know what I stepped into, but we're about to find out.
I was honestly racking my brain, like, what the hell did Corey do?
I don't know. I don't know.
We're gonna find out though. Let's do
does
this.
Does he have a Washington football team scarf on?
I don't know. No,
it's the colors of the Washington football team.
I think that's Detroit FC, baby.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, Detroit City.
Yeah.
I love those.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be right back with Adham's bets of the day right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, it's Joey from Woodward Sports, and I am here in downtown Fenton at Bridge Street Exchange. This place has so many amazing things for guys and ladies. This is the hidden spot that you got to come check out. I'm talking thorough good boots, best boots ever. They have barware. They got the Stormy Cromer hats. They got Carhartt hats, a huge Carhartt selection. They even got Snoop Dogg underwear. So go check them out, bridgestreetexchange.com, and use the code word WSN for 15% off.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that's listening to our brand new app right now that's available in the Apple store. You just go there. It's absolutely free to download. Search WSN Live, or you can just search Woodward Sports, right, Joey?
Yeah, super simple. You especially because now we got all these great reviews, so Apple is featuring us on the top. So you just type it in there, and then bam, it's right there. Easy download.
Thank you, Bill Gates.
Yeah, nothing but positive feedback so far on that, which is really great.
Why are you laughing, Art?
Bill Gates.
You said thank you, Bill Gates. Thank you, Apple. Thank you, Bill Gates. It's Steve Jobs.
Whatever. Whatever. Yeah, same dude. Just billionaire.
I'm sure Bill Gates got something to do with that.
I get my billionaires confused. I'm sorry. Either way.
Excuse us, Art.
Adam is here trying to turn you into a billionaire with his bets of the day.
That's right.
Adam, we had another win day yesterday. We got 3-2.
Yeah, 3-2 yesterday. I've been having this beef with the Cleveland Cavaliers over the last 10 days. I've always bet against them, and they've burned me the last 3 times. But I'm not holding back. I'm not a bitch. I'm going to keep betting against the Cleveland Cavaliers whenever I get the chance to.
Hey, man, you got to stick with your laurels. You made a commitment, Adam.
That's right. I'm dying with the ship, but I'm pretty sure the ship will turn around. But 3-2 last night. We're 33-15 up so far to start the season overall. I got an interesting fact for you guys.
Let's hear it.
We've got Europa League action. Fish is going to love this. So the teams that are playing today, their first leg finished 4-3. The odds on this team that I will be picking to win are plus 178. I wouldn't say super underdog, but very unlikely to win. We're going to take Bayer Leverkusen to win straight up on the money line. That's going to be our first pick of the day.
All right.
That game starts at 12 o'clock, so we'll be able to find out super early in the day how we're doing to start the day.
You could totally be making up names. I'd be like, okay, cool, sounds good.
Yeah, some of these teams I have to double check and figure out how do I pronounce their name because they're all European and German, but that's no biggie. The next game is going to be the Sacramento Kings and the New York Knicks. I'm going to take the points, but I'm going to take under. The total points for the game is at 222. I'm going to take the under. The Knicks have a stingy defense. They play a lot of half-court ball. They waste, on average, 17 to 20 seconds per possession. I see the game grinding. Whether they have a good night shooting the ball or not, I'm not worried. I know the Kings play super fast.
Halliburton.
They got DeAndre Fox, super good, talented backcourt, but I'm going to take the under for that game.
All right.
And then we're going to move to the Denver Nuggets tonight. They're playing the Washington Wizards. Oof. I'm just going to take the Nuggets to win straight up.
I was going to say, that's an easy dub for the Nuggets.
They were 9-point favorites. I didn't want to play with the spread. I was considering giving Washington the points, considering they've been hot. They've won, I believe, 6 of their last 8 games.
They got nobody that can guard the big man.
Again, that's why I was thinking about taking the points, but you know what? The safe play is we're here to win money.
Right.
We're not here to try and go crazy.
Can't go broke taking profits, can you, Adam?
You can't.
Nope.
That's right, baby. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Nuggets straight up to win. The next game is the Pelicans versus the Bucks. This line, honestly, concerns me. The point total is at 241. That is extremely high for a Bucks team that is super inconsistent with their jump shots and their three-point field goals. We just saw the Pelicans play last night, so they're coming off a back-to-back. I see a sluggish first half from both teams, and I see the under. I'm taking the under on this game.
I'm really looking forward to that matchup of Zion versus Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is gonna be something to watch. Zion, did you guys watch the Pistons game last night? Zion is so impressive.
Bully.
He is my favorite NBA player outside of Detroit. Period.
He should be. He's a bully, man. A stronger version of Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
That's saying something.
I've been watching him since high school, and this guy is just so fun to watch.
Oh, dude, he's got shooting guard moves, but he's just a monster.
Fast too.
Unreal. And his game is only going to develop. This is his second year in the league. His post moves are legit. You maybe have 3 or 4 centers or power forwards in the league that somewhat have a post game. Zion is just going to keep adding to his repertoire. It's really amazing to watch him grow.
Yeah.
And then the last game of the night, we're going to go to NHL. Why not? We have the Red Wings in action. I love betting against the Wings.
They make you a lot of money this season.
You got to prove me wrong betting against the Wings. They're a very bad team. Young, but very bad. Blashill is not doing such a great job. I'm going to take the Predators. They just beat the Red Wings 2-0 on Tuesday. They shut them out. I'm not taking the money line, though. I'm taking the spread. I think the Nashville Predators are going to win by more than a goal.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Red Wings got to learn how to score. That's just pretty much been our Achilles heel all year. And if you can't score, you can't win.
Horrible power play. Horrible. Dead last in the NHL.
Crazy game was Coyotes and the Ducks yesterday. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
They were the Ducks were up 3-0 going into the third. They tied it up, went into overtime, and the Coyotes ended up winning, down 3-0.
Damn.
It's a crazy game.
So,
too bad
Adam,
the Wings can't score 3 goals.
let's run down all your bets again real quick.
Yeah, we're going to take Bayern Leverkusen, which is a soccer team.
Just as you say, I don't even know if you say it right.
How to say these
Bayer
teams' names.
Leverkusen.
But we're going to take them straight up to win.
Okay.
We're going to take the under in the New York Knicks Sacramento Kings game. It's set at 222. I'm going to go under. I'm going to take the Nuggets straight up to beat the Wizards. I'm going to take the under in the Pelicans Bucks game. It's set at 241. I don't see both teams scoring 120 points. Very unlikely. And then I'm going to take the spread, which for the Nashville Predators is 1.5 goals. I think they'll win by more than a goal.
I like it. I like it a lot. And if you're thinking about getting in on any of those bets and you want to combine them, it's a pretty good parlay for tonight if you want to combine them. But if you want to take those bets individually, you can do that too. And make sure you do it at mybookie.com. Enter promo code Woodward, and we will match your first deposit up to $1,000, half of that.
That's
so
right, baby.
If you put in 1,000, you get 500. You
And
put in
there's no
500, you get
contingency.
250. You
And
put in
there's no
100, you get
contingency.
50. Yeah.
Yep, that's the most important thing. You have to remember, a lot of these people that are matching dollar for dollar, you have to bet the entire amount before you can even withdraw.
And in some cases, you have to bet the entire amount on one bet.
On one bet, that's right.
Like,
Yeah.
hey,
we
we'll
have
give you $1,000, but you got to make it in one bet.
We have someone here that almost got screwed really badly off of that
I
one.
saved him. I saved him. We have a guy named Mike Broadwell here. He was one of those people that put in $1,000 thinking he was going to get the 1,000 matched. Well, he unfortunately found out is that he has to bet that $1,000 on one game, and whatever he wins on the game is what he gets back. He doesn't get the full 1,000. So, for example, if he took a favorite at minus 500, he'd only win $500 on a $1,000 bet. That's all he could win.
So you're losing.
So what we did was we found a game that was basically a pick'em, which at the time was the Pistons versus the Pacers. We took the Pacers to win on the spread at minus 110, and they won. They covered. And he won his money back, $962.
There you go. All you got to do is listen to Adam
That's
if you
right.
want your gambling tips. Thank you, Adam, for coming on every morning at 8:50 to share your bets of the day, and then we post them up on our social media if you missed them, so you can go back and reference them later when you are placing your bets, hopefully on mybookie.com.
That's right.
That's
Thank
right.
you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming up here, Adam. We got Terry Foster in the studio. Thursdays with Terry has slowly become my favorite. I don't want to call it a bit, but our favorite
Segment of the week.
Segment. I like that. Our favorite segment of the week right here on the Woodward Sports Network. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Terry will be on stage. We'll have Corey back up here, and then we're going to do Joey's news and then get Terry's thoughts on. I'm very curious on what he's going to say to Corey, because he says he's got some smoke for Corey, Joey. Oof. And I don't know what it could be, because Corey's been writing a lot of articles. Maybe it's on the articles. Corey's been up here sharing his bold opinions. Maybe it was one of his bold opinions. But I'm interested to see Terry come in here and put in some work. Or maybe it was just that you didn't have a fedora last week. Who knows what it's going to be, but we're going to find out next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Joey's News and Terry Foster. I mean, we're inside Grow Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now?
Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice.
Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan.
Morning, Art.
Morning, D-Mac.
We live.
Oh, hey, it is now time. Sorry, we're trying to get the set all, and we only got.
You help him out. I'll hold this down for a quick second. It is time for Joey's News. That's how Stick always says it. So on this Woodward Sports Update, I want to start it out by talking about one of my favorite Michigan basketball players. I'm talking about Isaiah Livers, the senior named finalist for the Julius Erving Award for the nation's top small forward. And this is one of my favorite plays from the tourney a couple years ago. I'm just so ready for March Madness to start. He's averaging 14.4 points per game, 5.9 rebounds, and then my favorite stat, shooting 47.7% on the field. We go to the Pistons, who unfortunately lost to Zion, who dropped 32 on us yesterday, losing to the Pelicans by 10. The Jazz are on fire, though. This team, wow, they have won 11 of their last 12 games. They stomped on the Lakers yesterday, 114-89. Go ahead, say it, Stick. I know what you're going to say.
I wish Donovan Mitchell was a Piston.
We all do.
Should have been.
Should have been. Could have been.
That's the worst when you say could have been.
Right.
It's the worst part about it. Lou Dort from 3 at buzzer. Game tied up. Look at this shot. You got to love the way that he ends this because I just feel the excitement on that. Tie game. Buzzer beater. 3-ball. Game over. Thunder beat the Spurs. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about was Kyrie. Shared this on Instagram. What do you think about this? Kobe Bryant as the new NBA logo replacing Jerry West.
He looks good.
Just looks so sweet.
He looks good.
I think they're going to do it. I don't know when, but I think that they're going to do it.
Yeah. No, they should. They
Yeah.
should. They should honor Kobe.
Yeah. So a couple games to be on the lookout for tonight. Number 9, Iowa taking on number 3, Michigan at 7 p.m. Luka Garza taking on Hunter Dickinson, who is freaking one of the best freshmen in the league right now.
It's nice to see the big men coming back. You know, I want to see the evolution of the big men back in the NBA, and it's good to see that there's some young blood big men on the come up.
Yep. So MSU, though, we got to see if they could pull off another upset. They are taking on number 4 Ohio State at 9 p.m. And guess who beat Ohio State the other day?
Michigan.
Let's see if Lil Bro could get the W as well.
How you gonna do that, man?
Listen, honestly, they're like step bro right now.
Oh God, Joey, what are you doing?
Minus that last game, they have been looking like step bro, adopted child.
Oh Jesus,
it has definitely been rough. But hey, I hope Izzo could prove me wrong, and he is proving Corey wrong too with that last Everything Is episode.
Yeah, I'm owning that one, but that was cold, Joey.
Yeah, it was. But hey, prove me wrong. That's all I want to see. I just wanted to get one guy that will prove you wrong though on your vision though is Dr. Yeldo at the Yeldo Eye Center, because if you've ever been scared of going to get LASIK, you're looking at one right now. I was the most terrified. If it wasn't for Stick to convince me.
That's right.
The best thing ever, though, I threw away my glasses. Stick had contacts. You don't got to wear those anymore. So call for your free evaluation right now at 1-800-398-EYES, or you could go to the YeldoEyeCenter.com, and you see it right there. Mention Woodward Sports for a $1,500 discount. So they're hooking you up. Custom LASIK with cats. Get that free evaluation, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Joey, and definitely go see Dr. Yaldo. Give him a call. Tell him Woodward Sports sent you. It's a free evaluation, and it will change your life. Like, I can read things all the way across Woodward now that I could never read before. And I get to see Terry Foster in beautiful high definition when you come into the studio. Welcome, Terry Foster.
Thank you very much. I have something for all you guys
today. We're all catching smoke.
We get presents today.
First of all, I want to deal with Mr. Analysis over here. You're Mr. I'm breaking down the games and everything.
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to know, what do you think of the slap fest after every Pistons game on Fox Sports Detroit? Last night, they lost to the Pelicans, right?
Yep.
And Zion had 32 points.
God, he's amazing.
All right. I thought the Pistons won by listening to the post game, how great everything was, how proud we should be of this team, how well they defended Williamson, who only had 32 points.
How well they defended Williamson.
That was wrong.
They didn't
that was
defend
false.
him at all.
Right, but it was a slap fest.
See, now I am a slappy.
You are a slappy.
I am a slappy, but I'm also, I feel a realistic slappy. Like, I can understand when we get our ass beat. To me, I think the Pistons are in a good spot right now, like, because they're showing improvement, but they're getting their ass beat, which is good, because we don't want them to show too much improvement where they're sliding into that 8 seed, and, you know, we want them to be progressively losing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I just want to know, Mr. Basketball and football analyst, what do you think about
last night's performance?
No. What do you think about media that I don't think gives it to you right? It's always everything's got to be positive, everything's got to be good. How about reality?
Yeah, and listen, I'm a positive guy, so I'll admit I kind of lean towards the positivity end on that. But also, no, last night They played well through about 3.5 quarters. Then at the end of the fourth quarter, they just got trounced. J.J. Redick started hitting threes. They couldn't stop Zion. Like, the matchup I was really looking forward to seeing was Isaiah Stewart on Zion. Stewart not at that level just yet. Like, Zion was taking him off the dribble.
Hey, but you did see that Euro step, though, from him.
But they put Josh Jackson on him. Josh Jackson is not a defender.
No, I understood what they were trying to do. Like, you can't out-muscle him, so maybe try to out-quick him. And they can't even out-quick the guy. But, yeah, no, the Pistons played okay last night. I do not agree that they guarded Zion well. Like, that was piss poor.
He had so many open lanes to the rim last night, uncontested. It was ridiculous.
Dude, there were plays when Plumlee would just dive out of the way so he didn't get murdered while Zion was dunking on him.
You don't like Plumlee? He played well last night.
He's a beast. He almost had a quadruple double almost.
I tweeted it last night. I said, "What in the world has gotten to Plumlee?" Because he had it was like a 2-minute stretch where he was just playing insane on both sides of the ball before they had to go ahead and call a timeout. I'm like, what in the hell has gotten into him?
Listen, Plumlee is such a good player. It's shocking to see how well he's been doing and consistently. But to your point, Terry, I feel like the issue with this and how sports media has been talking about the Pistons, because first off, Tim McCormick was actually my basketball coach in 8th grade. And he's one of the guys that do the actual Fox Sports post game. But I feel like it's just the expectations that everybody had for the Pistons, because going into the season, they kept using the term rebuild. So now they're kind of looking as, oh, they're doing this good, they're doing this good, they're doing this good. But they're not giving them the beating that they deserve sometimes with these late game give-ups.
I just think that sometimes you need to call a spade a spade. If something is bad, say it is. Say you're hopeful for the future, that you do see some signs. But this whole positive, they play great and all this stuff, just tired of that. That's not reality, and it's not giving the fans what they deserve.
No, and honestly, you're right. Like, that's what you tell them. Hey, you're witnessing the growth right now. Yes, the team sucks, but this is why we suck. We have a plan. Our plan was to suck this year, and we will get better from here, and you're seeing it in baby steps.
Now, Tim McCormick said something interesting last night. He said, I saw all this fight in this team this year. Last year, there were signs where they looked like they would quit. But he didn't say it last year. It's something he would never say.
That's because they were fighting for that illustrious 8th seed.
Okay, yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
In the East, though, it's always possible. That 8th seed just dangling in front of you.
Yeah.
Do you want it or not?
No.
I just say keep it.
No, not this year. And I'm always one of those guys. I'm not a big fan of rooting for losing. I'm not saying tank, but this team really isn't capable of winning, so they're not really tanking. What I want to see out of them is, I said this before the season even started. I'm going to judge them on the last quarter of the season, though. Like, let them blow the first 3 quarters of the season, then let's start trending up at the end of the season. Not to the point where we make the playoffs, but where we're seeing our young people start to gel and come together.
So you do want to see them lose?
I hate saying that.
Say it.
Don't say it.
I want to see them grow.
Don't say it.
I want to see them grow.
Oh, he wants to see them lose.
Here's my question.
I want to see them grow.
That's okay.
My question to that, though, is obviously right now we're one of the worst teams in the NBA. But if you even bring up that discussion of the Pistons getting that 8th seed, obviously they're getting better and they're playing better to be in that 8th seed. So why would you not want that?
I think for their rebuild, what they're trying to do, getting that 8th seed gets them a draft pick that they don't really want. And right now, that's why they went ahead. To me, that's why they went ahead and got rid of Derrick Rose. That's why they're sitting Blake Griffin, so they don't slip up and win some of these games. Just go if the rookies go ahead, the young guys go ahead and win just by the way they're playing. So be it. But they're not ready. So just go ahead and go with the full rebuild. Let them get their beaks wet, and see where their chips fly.
Right. You know what the biggest myth is well, if you get that 8th spot, you can grow as a team and learn as a team if you just get into the playoffs. What did they learn when they got swept by Milwaukee 4 games by 20 points a game? Nothing.
But to me, that's a different scenario than this young team, because the young guys need the playoff experience to learn. So I wouldn't have minded it with this young set. The older guys, when we're peaking out there, like with Blake Griffin and all those guys, Andre Drummond, we knew we weren't going to get past that. So it's kind of just, you're playing just to play to get swept out. With these guys, at least we're playing so they can learn how to win, kind of like Isaiah Thomas talked about. They had to learn how to win, and you saw it with the 04 Pistons, like 01, 02. They had to learn how to get past that first round of the playoffs. So as long as it's a young core trying to move forward, I'm okay with that first round playoff loss. But if it's an established team with veterans, then you're really just, this is what we are. We're never going to make it.
Terry, what's your favorite dessert?
You know what? Cheesecake.
Cheesecake. I give you a big slice of cheesecake right in front of your face, but I only get you to taste one little bite. Are you going to want more or no?
Yes.
You're going to come back wanting more. But if you've never had cheesecake in your entire life, you're never going to even crave for it, are you?
That is correct.
So as a playoff for a rookie, when you get this little taste of what playoffs feel like and that energy that you have being in the playoffs, are you going to want more and fight harder to go back and get that, just like you're going to fight to go get more of that cheesecake?
Probably, but why not get into the lottery so I can have better teammates in the future? So I can have a lottery pick, so I can have more talent. Talent wins.
For sure, but I've just never understood the whole just not tank, but like I'm okay with losing mentality. It just makes no sense to me, especially when you're dealing with a lot of the best coming from college to where all they know is winning.
I don't think it's really an okay with losing mentality. I think it's just recognizing where you are. The team is not ready to win, and we're trying to go ahead and go with the youth movement. So since we know we're going to lose, why don't we just go ahead and just lose with the guys who are going to be here for, the next couple of years? If they win, so be it. But trying to actually go out there and compete for an 8th seed, like some teams, they make moves to get that eighth slot, or they make certain roster changes. Just go out and just throw these guys out there and just see what happens.
No, but if you're on the team, you should try to win.
Yeah,
but
of course.
If you're management, don't try to make a move that's going to hurt you in the future just to get that number 8 seed, just to get into the playoffs so you can get swept by Milwaukee. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't want that future. I want this young core to get a lottery pick. Like, I think if you add a lottery pick to Sadiq Bey, to Isaiah Stewart, hopefully Killian Hayes comes along, and then we got Jeremy Grant. To me, that's a good 4 to build around for the future.
Right.
And
it is.
Yeah.
Bring in some more pieces.
Yep.
And Troy Weaver looks like he knows talent, so he can bring those guys in. Now, I have a second issue. I want to clean up the strife that we have between the black community and the Chaldean community.
Ooh. I'll sit back for this one.
Please speak.
Young Joseph, you are of Chaldean descent. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Here's what I grew up with. And tell me if you were... I grew up with black people shooting Chaldeans because they owned all the party stores in our neighborhood.
Still happens.
Still do. And then the Chaldeans would shoot back at the brothers.
If you're getting shot, you better believe you're getting a shot back.
Right. So what can we do to clean up this little dispute that we have?
Stop trying to rob party stores. I'm confused by this.
Okay.
I'm really confused by this.
And I agree with that, but here's the other thing.
I'm so confused by this.
But go ahead. There's the second part.
Robbing party stores, he says.
Go ahead. Stop following me around in the store like I'm going to steal from you, because I'm not.
Listen, first off, I am actually one of the rare Chaldean families that have nothing to do with the party store. So this one does not really hit close to home. It is definitely my people, so I got to stand up for my people, but I really can't personally identify. I know it's like probably 99.999% of Chaldeans do own a party store. I'm that 0.001 that my dad does mortgages.
What happened with you?
My dad does mortgages, so I mean, my whole life, when he moved
they financed the party stores through his dad.
I get it now.
No, he just does residential, but I mean, I see where you're coming from with that. I mean, it's sad, and it's not only blacks that try and rob these party stores. It's all types of races. But the areas that a lot of these party stores are in the hood, are in Detroit, where it is most commonly probably robbed by black people. But what's your point to this?
My point is, what can we do to remedy this situation and get along? I want harmony in the world. I want to get along with everybody.
When you look at races, I feel like any race that appreciates blacks the most is probably the Chaldeans. I truthfully think that, because I mean, for me personally, some of my closest friends are African Americans.
But here's where we differ, though. Here's where you guys get mad. Here is one thing I don't like about Chaldean males.
Yeah.
You don't like us talking to your women.
No.
Deny
I don't
that.
want white people to talk to my women.
That's
I don't
true.
want Asians to talk to my women.
It's so crazy to me.
They're very protective of their women.
It's the culture, man. They protect their culture at all costs. And a couple years ago during Thanksgiving, I like to take meals to families and stuff. And I went into Detroit. It was, I believe, at like 6 Mile and Southfield, somewhere in that area. And it was a Chaldean woman, and her husband was black, and they couldn't afford anything because their entire family shunned her, threw her out on the street because she married a black guy. And it was the same way for the black guy. His family didn't want anything to do with him because he married a Chaldean girl. And I'm walking up there, my white ass was like, man, this is crazy.
Right.
Like that families could actually do this because of who you love.
You know, I talked about going to Ferndale High School and how that's such a melting pot, how everybody was all races mingling in. Black guys dated Chaldean girls during school. After school, you can walk out to the car with her mom, dad, snatch her ass up real quick and put her in the car. That's the only thing that was the melting pot, where that melting pot was like a divide. After school with black and Chaldean, it really was like, no.
See, this is a big misconception, though, with Chaldeans and African Americans. It's not about...
y'all don't like anybody.
Exactly.
It's not about you. It's about everybody.
And let me explain this, because it's not about dating a black man. It's about dating anybody besides a Chaldean.
No, I understand that.
Which you got to respect. That's kind of the history, because my mom, she's totally like that. I mean, she obviously would respect whoever I were to date, but that's just how she is, because we're so close-knit. My mom wants to know the family. My mom wants to know them. And it's no joke when I say, like, when I first started dating my fiance now, she's actually Chaldean, and this is the first Chaldean woman I've ever dated in my entire life.
Oh.
She
Wifed her up,
knew the entire family by the time that I said just her mom's name. And that's just how the community is. It's a close-knit community. And now I feel like they're at least more accepted, because you are starting to see different cultures starting to date with Chaldean women and men. And that's just where we are in society.
Now, here's what I've discovered living in the suburbs. I always thought that white people just hated black people, and that's not true. They really hate Chaldeans. Are you aware of that?
For white people hating Chaldeans, or just everybody?
Oh my God! I belong to this gym, and we have Jewish people, black, white, Chaldeans. And
okay, so you go to Lifetime. Keep going.
No, it wasn't Lifetime.
So Lifetime
I was
in Troy.
talking to this guy, and another guy walks up to me and says, "Hey, T, you know that guy you were talking to?" I said, "What?" He was Chaldean. And he went like, okay, so I have never been approached by saying, that guy you were talking to was Jewish, or that guy you were talking to was Italian. But it is pointing out to me, if I talk to someone Chaldean, somebody brings it up. Why were you talking to the Chaldean? What is up with that?
Well, I don't get your point to that. That's the biggest bullshit I've ever heard.
Because they don't like y'all. And why?
You're talking white people don't like Chaldean people?
They don't.
Listen,
Like,
as the
honestly,
only
I
white
like
person
you.
on this panel, I love Chaldean people. I love black people. I love everybody.
You're different because
listen. No, you got to realize one thing. First off, honestly, now you saying all this stuff is starting to piss me off, because, truthfully, Chaldeans are the most loving people, and I just hate this whole pulling out this race card for different things, because we don't look at anybody as certain ways. Yes, there are individuals that hate blacks. There's individuals that hate Chinese people. There's individuals that hate Muslims. But when you say this and bring up this discussion, it's just bullshit. Like, I don't see why you even bring up this conversation.
It's reality, because
what's the point of this conversation?
The other point of the conversation is there are certain gyms, and you mentioned Lifetime, where people who go to my one gym, which is not Lifetime, they say they don't go to Lifetime because there's too many Chaldeans.
Yeah.
And I have never experienced that until I started living in the suburbs and stuff. I didn't know that. I thought we were the only ones that people didn't like.
It's the same. There's racist people for every single race. It's not people only don't like black people. You think that maybe just because you are black. I'm Chaldean. There's a lot of people that hate me too.
But I want to know why.
There's a lot of people that hate white people.
It's true.
You know why? Because
right
racism is a real thing that exists.
Yeah.
It's not only for just black people. It's for Chaldeans. It's for people of all races.
All right, and here I come with the positive end of all of this. And not that racism is positive, but this is such a unique problem to the United States because we are such a melting pot. You can't go to other countries and experience this conversation because they don't have the cultural depth that we do, especially here in Detroit. Like, we speak about this as a country, but especially here in Detroit, we have the largest, Arabic population, Middle Eastern population outside of the Middle East. Detroit is 80% black. The suburbs 30% black, and the rest of the country is 13% black. We have a huge Jewish community in Oak Park, Sterling Heights. We also have a ton of Asian community. We have Hispanic community. We're very blessed here in Michigan and in this specific area of Michigan, because I moved out to Grand Rapids. Definitely not the same ballpark.
No, I lived in Grand Rapids,
yeah.
And everybody's named Vander something.
Yeah. And they are all pastier than I am. It is a very strange experience for even somebody like me who is white, but I grew up in this cultural melting pot here. Corey talks about it in Ferndale, but I grew up in the Novi, Walled Lake, West Bloomfield area, and it's very much the same thing, just lots of cultures. So, like, as much as these conversations are tough and contentious and, sometimes I always look at, holy shit, we're allowed to have these conversations and nobody else gets to experience it, because even outside of Detroit, my sister lives in Arizona, they don't know what the hell a Chaldean is. Really, outside of Michigan, nobody knows what a Chaldean is.
Truthfully, I mean, Michigan, you got Arizona, and you got San Diego. Outside of those three areas, Chaldeans aren't. I mean, we're so close-knit, and especially when you bring up the whole dating outside of your race, like, it's not really even a racist thing. Like, my mom doesn't want me to date anyone besides a Chaldean just for the sole reason because that's family.
I just like I said, again, I got to go to the melting pot, and even just working at, Florida at Disney, when it comes to that kind of conversation, I have a different opinion because I've been around so many different cultures. So as I was able to be enlightened, I'm like, okay, it's more so of a different cultures don't like dating outside of their own culture, their own race. They like to date within their people. Some of it, I ain't gonna front. I have felt some racist stuff from white people before. I'm just gonna be upfront about it. But when I go into like Chaldeans, Chinese, Japanese, all those other races, I've seen them just kind of more so just stick to their own. They don't like anybody else outside of like Asians don't like anybody else outside of Asians. Japanese don't like anybody else outside of Japanese. Chaldeans don't like anybody outside of Chaldeans. And that's just, everybody's all had different experiences. That's just been my experience of it. Like, my friend, she's Chaldean. She was able to, her parents were a little bit more open. She was able to go ahead and marry a black guy. But as opposed to my other friends, like I said, I didn't think it was a race thing. It's just that's how their culture is. Yeah. That's how it is just within the school.
A lot of people just stick to your own.
Yeah, and I had to come to learn that.
It's weird. It really is. I mean, even like if I were to call my mom right now, and obviously I'm not dating anybody else now because I'm engaged. But if I were to call her and say, "Hey, mom, I'm thinking about dating a black woman," I almost said black man, a black woman.
Either way, we'll love you.
Which is okay if that's what you want.
That's what you want, Joey. Do your thing, man.
She would say, "Hell no," and then you hear that. Are you going to take that as racism?
No, because of the way society is. I understand society and the way they believe in everything. But I also wanted to bring up that Stick here is a Jovi.
What is that?
Do you know what a Jovi is?
I'm about to learn.
You are a jovial guy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Stick is the guy that when you're going to the gym and you can't lift a certain way, he comes and say, "Hey, buddy, come on, let me help you out here.
I'm your life spotter.
Let's do something here." Or it's like, I'm having a bad day. Hey, let's go out and have some coffee or something like that. You are a Jovi.
I try to be, man. Life is hard. It's very hard for everybody, and I try not to make anybody's life harder. And that's really like part of it. And part of my frustrations with race conversations is that I I hurt for people when they feel a certain way. And I'm empathetic towards, like, even our conversation earlier with Corey about the Kobe logo and about how I didn't love what Kyrie Irving said. I understand and I feel for Corey that, like, hey, black people have struggled in this country. Black people deserve the light shined on them. And I feel that, but I also feel that sometimes if I have differing opinions, it paints me in a corner as a white guy, because if I just said the same exact comment as Joey said about dating, it comes off as extremely racist. If I'm like, well, if I called my mom, she would only let me date a white girl.
Right.
And when you say it, it's like, oh, well, that's just culture. They stick to their own. If I say it, it's like, that motherfucker's racist.
And I didn't even finish what I was saying because I asked you that question, right? And now I wanted to ask you the next question, Stick. If I called my mom right now and I said, hey, I want to date a white girl, she's going to say the same response. Hell no.
Right.
So do you take that as racist as well?
I do.
What if you told her you wanted to date Stick?
Hell yeah.
I don't know what she'd
be so lucky. No, I do. Anytime you're using race as a factor, it's racist. Like, whether you take racist as a negative term or you take it as just a factor term, if it involves race, you're making racist decisions.
So then what's the definition of racism? Because I look at racism as hatred towards another race.
See, I view it as always using it to separate. Anytime you use it to separate is when I have an issue with it.
Okay. And that's why it's like I look at the way that...
It's to separate and that your race is superior.
Right.
No.
That is part of it.
I wouldn't say... Well, yeah, to definition, I agree. But with the way Stick's saying it, like, I don't think that my family and my people look at our race as superior. I just look at it as we're one, we're together, and they want to have that connection. And there's nothing wrong about that.
What you got to say about this, Art? Can we make sure Art's
I will say,
on?
to Terry's point, Stick is very good at, like, hey, come on, let's all be one together. Like, I will say that. And if you are going through some stuff, there's nothing better than going to Stick's house. So thank you for that.
That's just because I get everybody super high.
Well, we won't talk about that. It's more about the puppy.
High,
Like,
drunk,
yeah,
whatever
you need to get through, man. Like I said, life is hard and life hasn't been easy for me either. So I think that's why, you know, I want everybody to experience a good life and to, like, understand that there is somebody here for you. Because I think a lot of times in this universe you feel that you're on an island, or you feel that nobody else can understand what you're going through. And, you know, anytime I can be that relief for somebody, I love it, because I need somebody to be that for me sometimes.
Like, you have skin in the game here with Woodward Sports, right?
A little bit, yep.
I haven't seen you be mean to anybody.
I have my ways. No, I have my ways. Like it, and honestly, I have been knocked by that in my whole career by people telling me that the way I manage isn't strong enough, isn't iron fist enough. But Joey will tell you, there's moments when I use that, but I don't overuse it. You know what I mean? Like,
I need an example.
And I'll make the point of, you know, like yesterday we were having some tech issues, and I'm not going to sit up here, flip the fucking table, walk off the set and be like, oh, we can't get anything right. This thing's a disaster. What the hell are we doing here? No, after the show, I go and I talk to Adham, and I'm like, dude, we cannot let this shit happen again. We got to get better, and it's a we thing. It's not, Adham, it's a we thing, and how can I help us solve this problem? And people view that as me, like, coddling, but it's not. It's teamwork. It's effort. It's going to take all of us to make this work. So why would I single this person out, tear them down, and still expect them to do a good job?
So you're like an NFL coach. This is my fault too.
Well, yeah, and everybody's motivated by different things. Like, if I come down on Corey as hard as I come down on Joey about something, they're going to respond different. So you have to manage every person differently.
I'm going to cry.
Like, I know I can address Art pretty hard on some shit because he can take it. He can take this. He can take the shit. But there's other people here where if I come down with them, it may shut them down for 2 days, and that does nothing for our company. Art is very strong.
You guys
he's weak. He's weak on, like, the facade, but he is a very strong kid.
Yeah, you guys tried to convince me this guy is weak.
No,
he's emotional. He's an emotional guy.
But I will say that without a support system here, you become a mess. Like, Stick knows I'm going through some stuff right now. He's like, hey, come over. We're going to smoke some weed. You're going to pet my dog. We're going to watch the fight. So, but it's the melting pot of all of us together that gets back to your point, Joey. Like, I think what your family and your people, it's cultural preference.
What do you mean your people?
That to me isn't racist. That's
well, he didn't say use people.
Yeah. Right. And listen, there might be people, and it sounds like in this room, of people that do think it's racist. And that's okay, as long as I know it's not racist.
Yeah.
As long as my mom and my family knows we're not being racist, because we love all people.
I think it's a difference, too, between racism and prejudice. I think there are some people that have a prejudice, but I believe racism, that comes from like a sense from power. And I don't think that there are certain minority groups that have the power to be racist. They can have a prejudice, in my opinion. This is my opinion. They can be a prejudice, but racism comes to me from having a power, a superiority.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because I've experienced racism in my life, like being a white guy living in Detroit. Like, anytime I'd go to play basketball at the Rosa Parks or Irma Henderson Park down there by Belle Isle, there was white.
Down there?
Oh yeah,
damn.
It was white boy this, white boy that. They called me Dirk. They called me Darko, and like it's more in jest, but it's also like, man, like who cares what color I am? I'm here to play fucking ball.
But do you feel bad when they say that?
No, but I have an internal clock that doesn't let outside opinions make me feel bad. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you feel that way? Who the hell are you?
But I don't want to pivot, but I did have a question for Terry while we up here.
All right. Well, actually, hold that question.
Okay.
Let's take a quick 15-second break, and when we come back, we got Corey's question right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Appreciate everybody who has downloaded our app so far. We got a new show coming on Monday, brand new show. It's going to be called The Hook, and we're going to reveal who is going to be on that show tomorrow. So that is going to be fun.
So we got a hook, but we don't know who the hook is with.
We don't know who the hook is with.
So that's that big secret nobody's allowed to talk about.
That's right. We'll have to kill you if you leak it, Terry. So we always welcome Terry Foster on the show on Thursdays right here on the Morning Woodward Show. Corey, before the break, you said you had a question for Terry. What is your question?
Just want to ask him about Pete Rozelle, the former NFL commissioner. So I kind of want to get into this. Yes, it's been a big story that broke yesterday about Lions owner Sheila Ford saying that, her dad or Pete Rozelle couldn't even get her a job in the NFL when she graduated. And I'm just looking at this. Hold on, here's the quote that she said. She said, "All I wanted to do was go to work for the NFL. I loved football. I grew up with it, and I actually knew at the time the commissioner was Pete Rozelle. And my dad, William Clay Ford, had taken me to a couple league meetings, and I had an opportunity to sit next to him at dinner. We kind of became friends. We communicated, and he was impressed with how much I knew, how much a girl I knew about football. So anyway, when I graduated, I went to see him because that was my dream to work in the NFL, and he really tried. I know he tried because he liked me and thought it would be fine, but he couldn't think of one thing, nothing, that a woman could do in the NFL. So I'm thinking how far they come yesterday was their 5th annual NFL's Women's Career in Football Forum, and she was on there with a couple of coaches, Bruce Arians, who just won the Super Bowl. One of my friends, she was actually in that forum as well. I just want to get your thoughts on, like, how, from back when you were initially started covering NFL, how far have you seen women come as far as the progression of getting jobs in the NFL and being an influencer in those top executive positions?
I've seen a lot of progress because back in the day when I first started covering things, it's like women had no say in the NFL. They were jinxes in NASCAR. They never played the sport at a professional level. So what do they know? So we're not going to hire. Not only we're not going to hire you, we're not even going to talk to you. That was the mentality then. But I think now we have grown as a society because I think we have talked about women's issues. We've talked about their needs and their strengths and weaknesses. And so now you've been able to hire women as coaches, front office. A guy I know, Larry Lee, his daughter is in a management position or trying to be in a management position. It looks like she's going to succeed at it. But I always go back to this, the I'm a man mentality, you know. I know better. I played the game. I've mastered the game. Woman can't tell me anything because I'm a man. That is and I still think the NFL has that mentality. It's not as much as it was before, but it's kind of sad. But, you know, look this average sports fan.
But I was wondering, do you think it's anything different from like what do you think the difference is? Like with the NBA, women are actually, you know, they're playing basketball at a high level, collegiately, the WNBA, and you're seeing women such as Becky Hammond. She's getting, you know, she's an assistant coach right now, but many expect her to be an NBA coach one day. With there not being a women's football league at the, you know, the level of those, you know, professional leagues, do you think women would be able to get those real shots to be in those positions of like a head coach or in a high-level assistant?
I think women are ahead in the NBA because of Greg Popovich. He's a guy that's progressive. He's a guy that is not afraid of what people are going to say about him. And you know what? He's the big elephant in the room. He can do whatever he wants.
Right. So
if you notice, Becky Hammond came through Greg Popovich. And I got to meet him before he was a coach. And they said, this is, I was in San Antonio and I was just a young buck. And they said, this is the next up and comer. And of course I shook his hand, forgot his name. And then, I mean, oh, it was Greg Popovich. But you have to be strong. I mean, to break barriers, because it's never been done before.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to break the barrier. And, you know, you're going to get criticized. We have a new media now. So you got to be a strong person, not only to be the first to do it, but you have to be a strong person to be the first to present it. And a lot of people can't do that.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, how do women get out of that stigma of, like, I think they can get out of the stigma easier with basketball, as from the examples that I mentioned before, but like, how do they shatter that stigma?
I think they
are.
In
they
football. Already are. You got like Katie Sowers for the 49ers, and there's already women making their way into the coaching ranks. What Sheila Ford Hamp was very excited about is how the Lions are handling the business women.
Yeah.
Because they're putting a lot of business women in those positions in the front office. And I just think it's one of those things over time, and you got to prove that you can do the job, even though you shouldn't have to prove that you can do the job. And the whole argument of you never played, so you don't know the sport.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many coaches who were never good enough to make it in the NFL or didn't play past high school or little league that are brilliant football minds. So I don't buy into that. But the biggest hurdle is getting the respect of the players.
That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm figuring out, like, I just remember the situation with Cam Newton several years ago when the female reporter asked him a question and he kind of like scoffed, like, oh, that was kind of like, it was a big controversy. Like, he said, like, oh, that's kind of funny coming from you, something like that. Like, I'm trying to figure out, how do they shatter that from the players?
I mean, to Stig's point, I feel like we are doing that right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's just right now it's still so new that it's like the more that you see, the more that it'll become the norm, and the more that most people, most importantly, will be accepting of it. Because, I mean, it's new. I mean, especially in football.
Yeah.
Like basketball, we've all played basketball with another female.
Yeah.
But football, how many girls have you played football with in your career?
Right. Well, it says 6 women made NFL history this year by coaching in the playoffs. So there's already 6 women coaches that were in the playoffs. That doesn't include the whole league.
Please don't recycle plastic
So, I mean, the barrier's being broken. But, you know, it takes baby steps. And like I said, you have to be strong to be able to do that, because you're going to get criticized. And, you know, the NFL of all the sports, probably that and baseball, dominated mostly by men, and we have that men's mentality that even women's sports writers go through the same thing. Sometimes players look at them and say, you didn't play the game, so what do you know?
Right.
Meanwhile, 80% of those male sports writers didn't play either.
Hell no. You see, those guys are way too fat to be playing any sport, half the sports writers.
I don't want to call them fat. They're
I will.
A little bit chubby.
You don't have to call them fat,
chubby.
Terry. I'll call them fat. Those guys, you could tell, have never picked up a damn basketball or football in their lives. And those are the guys that usually have the biggest Like, look at a Skip Bayless. Like, you know, he's got the biggest opinions about everything, but you could tell that guy's not an athlete at any stretch of the imagination.
We've already seen how Jalen Rose did him.
Yeah.
That was bad.
See, but just like, go ahead.
Do you know what every city in the United States has?
Fat people.
400-pound, not 300, but a 400-pound radio guy.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
yeah.
A 400-pound radio guy is in every city. Watch. And what he does is he wears a 5X T-shirt down to his knees to try to make it think that he's not that fat. But that's what they have.
Yeah.
But then no athlete says, well, you never played the game because your little legs probably couldn't even move.
Right.
But they'll say that to a woman.
See, but just like a player has that different respect, because for me, like I said, I mentioned it earlier, I had Coach Tim McCormick, and he was a professional basketball player. The dude's like 7 feet tall. I looked at him differently than I did the coach that were fat. So you look because you always throw that out there like, well, you're running up and down doing suicides. I want to see you do these suicides, but I won't say that to Tim McCormick because
he'll smoke your
easily
ass.
could do that.
Right.
But I feel like just as you get past the whole thought of, man, this coach is a fat ass, this coach, he can't even play the ball, is the same way that these players will treat females in sports as time progresses.
Yeah, like anything else, it's a slow evolution. We're definitely ahead of a lot of countries. Like we discussed yesterday, Qatar won't even let women play in bikinis, beach volleyball, but we're not where we need to be. And that's just pretty much it. We'll get there over time. But really, what is the ratio you're looking for of women in coaches in football? Like, what will signify to you that we made it?
You know, it's not even really a ratio. I was just kind of curious because it's been a thing of, they're 47% of the NFL's viewership. So I was just wondering, like, all right, they're starting to infiltrate. I don't want to say infiltrate, but they're starting to get more opportunities to showcase their IQ and just get the opportunity they were never given before. So now that we're starting to see it become more of a thing in basketball, I'm like, okay, I wonder, like, hey, will we see a woman NBA coach before we see a woman NFL coach?
Yes.
Or like,
100%. Head coach, 100%.
And I'm not looking for ratio either. I'm looking for opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just opportunity. Somebody wants to do it, and they're better than this dude over here.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Good. Easy. Done. Why is that so damn hard?
Because this is the United States of America, and it's not that easy.
Yeah, but we're the
Son.
only ones with this opportunity.
Canada can do it.
Yeah,
CFL.
Canada can do it. I don't want to be Canadian though. I love Canada, but I don't want to be Canadian. But you look at like the dude that just had to step down from being the chairman of the Tokyo Olympics because of his dumbass comments about women.
Right.
Like
Limiting their speaking time in meetings.
because
Like,
they don't know how to stay focused and they waste time in meetings. It's like,
Guess
dude,
what? Males are just as not focused as the females.
every meeting's damn near a waste of time. So let's just point that out. Everything could have been handled in an email.
I have a female friend who told me she will never vote for a woman for president.
Really?
Yes. Because they're too emotional and stuff like that.
I'll vote for a woman if she's the right person for the job.
And I'm like, how can you say that? You are a woman. And they said, well, I wouldn't vote for myself. I'm like, all right.
Well, at least you're self-aware.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wouldn't vote for your crazy ass either, lady.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you.
Terry, obviously the big news of the week has been Tiger Woods. Everybody's been talking about Tiger Woods. You put up a blog about how Tiger Woods, quote, drives like a bat out of hell, is what you said.
And a lot of athletes do.
Okay.
To me, the driving issue is a professional athlete's issue. And I've driven from practices, mostly in Detroit, but in other cities, San Antonio, Chicago. And these dudes drive like they're fucking nuts.
Why do you think that is? Just, they're competitive people? Or
No,
like
I'm the man.
All right.
So I get caught and you stop me for a speeding ticket. What's the speeding ticket? $300?
Oh, right.
Whatever.
Okay.
Or most of it is the police will stop them and say, oh, yeah, you're Michael Jordan. Yeah, nice game yesterday. Go ahead, buddy. You're doing a great job. Keep representing our city.
Yeah, I can see that too. So they just feel untouchable, essentially.
Right. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a controversy with Andre Drummond when he played for the Pistons. He took a picture, for whatever reason, of his dashboard as he's driving to practice. The speedometer said 96 miles an hour.
Andre.
But he's not the only one.
No, I know.
When I would leave Pistons practice or Tigers practice or something, I'm driving down the freeway, and you know what? I'm humping a little bit. Old Buggy's like at 75, 76 miles an hour. These dudes would pass me like I'm standing still.
Okay. Yeah, I just think you see that with any young person with money, period. I mean, Justin Bieber is an example of that kid was ripping up and down, what was that, in Florida, that freeway in Florida, 95. He was going about 110 in his Lambo that he had. And anytime you got fast cars, money, and you're young, I mean, I was whipping my POS Jeep Cherokee about 100 miles an hour through Wixom back in the day. So
if you asked that,
yeah,
you'd be posting that too.
Yeah. And, like, that's how I drove when I was young. So I think it has a little bit to do with immaturity and lots of money and, like you said, feeling untouchable.
And how old is Tiger?
Tiger Woods, I don't know. He's like 44, something like that. Okay.
Now, I wanted to ask you guys when I know you were talking about Tiger Woods, but I wanted to take it to a different thing. When Tiger Woods was at his peak, us older guys bought golf clubs. We got Nike golf clubs, Nike golf balls. But I want to know, what you young guys, were you into the Tiger Woods thing where you just bought stuff? Like, do you have a red golf shirt?
No, my brother was totally into the golf thing. My mom, I don't know what it was, but she was not having it by letting me play golf. I wanted to, but she was like, nope. So I kind of fell out of love with it. But my brother, he has his whole set of golf clubs, Tiger stuff. Lucky, you know what?
Stick, did you buy anything?
I had the red Nike polo. I had that red one, and I had the hat. Yeah, I did the whole Tiger Woods look. Did not play like Tiger, but I had the look. Art, what you got?
I remember I was at a live radio station remote when Tiger made his debut back in golf, and it was a spectacle. It was like, this is happening. So, I mean, obviously the culture around Tiger is important. It's just what happens now. You know, does golf, continue to kind of go at that level? I mean, whenever Tiger plays, everyone's watching.
Yeah.
Joey, did you ever go around screaming, "I am Tiger Woods" or anything?
I never did, and honestly, I'm just now hitting my I want to golf phase in life. Only thing that I got was the TW hat because those hats just look super sweet, those Nikes. But I might have to follow some of Tiger's looks.
I did more of the Dave Chappelle, Tiger Woods, y'all.
You're right.
I used to yell that all the time. Tiger Woods, y'all.
Nah, see, if I did anything, it was just, we talked about him being the logo. That's another reason he should be the logo. I was balling up, pieces of paper and throwing at the waist can going Kobe. I wasn't doing that.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't doing the Tiger thing.
I didn't even like Kobe, and I did that.
He didn't move you guys like he moved America.
He made me pay attention to golf, but no more than I already was, I guess. It was just fun to watch a young up-and-comer, and, you got the hype of watching the videos of him when he was 2 years old, swinging the club, and it's like, man, golf's a young guy's sport now, and you could tell it definitely trickled through society. I mean, young-end golf went through the roof when he started.
Yeah, I started playing golf a little bit at Ebony Hills, and I bought these clubs from a guy that just makes clubs. They weren't Nikes, they weren't Titleist, they were just a hodgepodge of clubs. In his garage, he took old clubs, refitted them, put the grips on them and everything. And if you stand my clubs up, there's like a 5-inch difference between the shortest club and the longest club. And they're like Titleist and TaylorMade and Bob and who knows who else is on there.
Yeah, those hodgepodge clubs work for you. Golf's such a weird sport. Like, my grandpa used to whoop my ass, and he could only hit the ball 10 or like 100 yards at a time.
Okay, if it was 10 yards.
Yeah, no.
Then you got problems.
But, like, he'd hit it 100 yards straight every single time. I'm hitting it 300 yards, but it's also 200 yards that way,
Yeah, that doesn't work.
No, not in golf.
Hey, man, Vinny said it best right here in the chat. That's where I got my Tiger Woods fix from the EA Sports game. That was my golf.
Oh, that was
now,
the game.
I will say that he definitely got me to buy that game because other than that, I definitely not have bought a golf video game for no reason at all.
That game was fun as hell. Fun as hell. Well, Terry, thank you for your time this morning on the morning show. We appreciate you every Thursday coming in about 9 a.m. And yeah, anytime you want to come on and talk about whatever, whether it be, pissing Joey off about Chaldeans and black people or, talking about Tiger Woods, we're happy to have you here.
See, I almost pulled off the fedora, Fish. I need you to throw it to me real quick.
Oh, do it Michael Jackson style. Throw it to him.
I couldn't. It doesn't fit my head. This is like a super old fedora. So I have to put it on a tilt. It doesn't even just sit on my head.
Oh, you look like one of those guys.
Charlie Chaplin.
No, not Charlie Chaplin. No, he looks like one of those Vegas guys. The
magician?
No, not the magician, but the guys that dance in the chorus.
Oh, there you go.
They always have small hats on.
Joey, take it off and give a shake with the hat.
Right.
Hey!
That's it.
Well, thank you for coming in, Terry. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, we got Fish's Facts coming up at 9:50. Fish is going to bring the heat with something you don't even know. And we're going to do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
I mean, we're inside Grow Green right now, and they have everything. I'm talking, you got your active air fans, you got your big lights over there, big pots, little pots, and Joey, what are you doing right now? Get some sun.
That's not what those lights are for.
Feels nice. Go to Grow Green MI today to get all your growing needs and a tan.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Is it time? Yeah, it is.
Fish!
Go fish.
It's fish. That's my favorite thing in the morning right now. Welcome back to the Morning Woodward Show. We got to give a shout out to Northwestern Tech. Joey, you were talking about them, just how much of a great trade school it is, and about, it's a shorter program. You're not going to spend 4 years in college. By this time next year, you could be having a really good paying job, and all you got to do, spend 8 months, 10 months at Northwestern Tech.
Literally, it's a 10.5-month hands-on HVAC program. It is just the best use of time, because think about this pandemic. It's been just about 12 months. It's actually been, wow, it's almost going to reach
12
the
months.
year.
Yeah. St. Patrick's Day last year is when it all got shut down.
So within this time, you could have picked up a new trade. So northwesterntech.edu, just check them out.
All right, Fish, you are on with your facts. What do you got for us today, buddy?
Yeah, so we're heading into spring.
Yes.
Yeah, or fall actually, in New Zealand.
Oh.
Which means one thing: rugby's back.
Yay!
Look at that smile.
Yeah, I'm excited. We have Super Rugby Aotearoa. Like that name?
I do.
There's the logo. So it starts at 1 a.m. tonight, Friday morning.
Are you getting up for it?
Not sure. I might.
Okay.
We'll see. So the Crusaders are the #1 team. They have won the title 4 years in a row. Now, it used to be Super Rugby, which was teams from South Africa, Australia, and New Zealand. They had to switch it to country-based due to COVID. So Aotearoa is the Maori language for New Zealand. So it translates to New Zealand.
I like that.
So that is the name of the country. So they have 3 languages. They have English, which is what I'm speaking now. They have Maui, which is the indigenous language.
Can you speak that, please?
Well, Maui? No, I cannot. I cannot speak that. Aotearoa, that's it. And then they have New Zealand Sign Language.
All right.
As an official language. So 41 countries have sign language as their official language.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
I look at that as like such an impressive just trait to know.
And is sign language universal? I know that may be a dumb question, but is like English sign language the exact same? Do they translate the same?
It's got to be different
I figured
because
you would
the
ask
signs
that. We got
you're doing,
stats for that.
Hold on.
Yep, that's part of the fact. The World Federation of Deaf estimates 72 million deaf people of the world. 72 million deaf people in the world. 80% that live in developing countries.
Okay.
So 80% of them live in third world countries. 300 different sign languages.
Oh, okay. Thank you for answering that question, Fish.
You're welcome.
Honestly, I'm glad you had that because that's where my mind went. Like, is there a Spanish sign language compared to an American sign language?
Yeah, there probably is. It doesn't differ. It just says 300 different sign languages.
That's interesting.
So we have another fact for you. On this day in history, Pistol Pete Maravich. He scored a career-high 68 points for the Jazz, which were at the time New Orleans.
Maravich.
Yep. Maravich, Pistol Pete Maravich.
There you go.
Got 68 points, and they defeated the New York Knicks 124-107 back in 1977.
I like it. All right, you got some bets for today?
I do have some bets for
you.
All
right, give us 2 bets, and let's do it.
All right, we have golf for you today. There's a big golf tournament going on in Bradenton, Florida. It's the World Golf Championship. So I'll just give you a few names that you can jot your mind off. Of course, Tiger's not playing, but he wasn't going to play originally. Dustin Johnson, plus 650. John Rahm, plus 1,000. And Rory McIlroy, plus 1,600. So you can go through the names of who you think will win. Golf's always a toss-up, so I don't pick golf because you never know who's going to win.
I'm going to go Rory McIlroy. That's who I'm going.
You can pick by round. You can pick by the whole tournament. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Like Maz, he won for golf.
Nice.
He picked Max Homa on the final day to win, and he won. But he did it on the final day, so he got lesser odds than if you were to pick him today.
I like it. And one more bet, Fish.
This one piqued my interest. Of course, we're going to go Red Wings to win. But we have Pelicans and Bucks.
That's a nice matchup. I like that game.
I actually going with the Pelicans today.
Oh, okay.
I know. Shocker.
So you're taking opposite of pretty much what Adam said.
Yeah, I just think, the Pelicans beat the Pistons yesterday. It's really good odds. And I just think the Pelicans with Zion Williams, if they can contain Antetokounmpo, I think they have a chance.
How do you pronounce Giannis's last name correctly, but not Zion Williamson?
What? Did I mess that up? Zion
No,
Williamson?
you said Williams. It's Williamson.
Williamson.
There you go. Nailed it.
Antetokounmpo.
Aotearoa.
Hardest name to pronounce.
Fish, can you do the Champions League song before you get out of here?
Sure. The champions. Boop, 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 boop.
I love it. Thank you so much, Fish. He is on every morning at 9:50 with his Fish's Facts and Fish's Bets. Now let's get into Joey's Dumb Ass of the Day. I'm going to play this real quick.
Now to present the award.
It is Joey.
It is time. Dumbass
of the day.
Why would you do that?
You're an ass. Go ahead, Joey.
Leave me alone. Why do you keep following me? That is what this woman had to say, and honestly, you just gotta watch this video.
Yeah, this lady is the major dumbass. Go ahead, Art. Play this video.
Leave me alone. Why do you keep following me? It's honestly so creepy, and I'm gonna call the cops.
Man, no.
Because you guys aren't leaving me alone, and that's why women can't go out in the world by themselves. Because of guys like you. What? Okay, so stop following me.
You have, I don't know if you have like a gas. You have a thing hanging out of your car.
What are you talking about?
There's literally a gas hose hanging out of your car. No one's being creeped. Oh. No, thank you.
There she goes.
I'll take this with me.
There's the thank you. That's. She's what? She's taking it with her.
She doesn't. Make sure to get all of it.
Is she gone?
Uh-oh, Corey got something to admit.
What's up, Corey?
Have you done this, Corey?
No, I'm just like, okay, if it was on the opposite side of her car, I get it. I'm trying to figure out how the hell she got out of her car and didn't notice the damn hole before she went to go cuss this dude out.
Because she was so focused on that dude being a quote-unquote creeper when he was just trying to help her out. She had laser vision. She wanted to roast that dude. And you could see that dude just laughing as he adjusts his hat. This chick's absolutely crazy.
I probably would have just been dead ass laughing in her face. I don't know how he kept his composure that damn long. I would have been rolling.
This just shows you cannot be a good person in 2021.
No.
You can't.
Have you guys ever ripped the hose out of a gas station?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Joey has.
No.
Have you, Corey?
I've never done it, but I've done something that's still stupid. I've actually paid for gas and dipped.
Are you serious?
I'm talking about a $30 full tank, and I got so busy, and I'm like, fuck, I didn't get the gas.
I just stopped for gas and I'm on empty.
Yeah, so I had to circle back, and the guy, he's like, I knew you were going to come back. What the hell, man?
That's so did the person after you get that free $30
No,
tank?
he saw me take off, and he was like, he knew I was going to come back, so he was a good gas owner, attendant, whatever.
So listen, I just got a recommendation for you. If you do ever want to drive off with the little pump in your car, do it at Speedway because they have this release emergency system. Not that I've done it or anything, but you drive off with the pump still in your car, it like just releases it so there's no damage to the car or to the pump.
Yeah, they're snap-off now. You don't rip the entire hose out. They used to be, but now it's like a strong magnet that holds them together because I've done this probably 3 times in my life. Like, I don't know why. Last time I did it was in Grand Rapids. I filled up with gas, and I literally took off, and then I heard, doosh, and I'm like, Jesus. I looked back, and I had to go back in like an ashamed dog with the
You're holding the damn hose.
And speaking of ashamed dogs, Woody, my dog, I love him very much. I talk about him, Woodward the Pup on Instagram if you want to give him a follow. Yesterday, Woody did something that I couldn't believe. Play the video, Art.
Get a dog, they
So
said.
this is walking into the house.
They said.
Was that Tide Pods?
That was Tide Pods. And
This is what
Woody.
I do.
Woody
Because,
went
like,
ape.
what's
That's
going
JoJo,
on?
my cat.
Oh, he got all the toilet paper and all the paper towels.
Yeah, so my wife's mom drops off like toiletries and stuff all the time. Like she's just awesome like that. Like, you know, paper towel I haven't had to buy in 10 years. You know, toilet paper I haven't had to buy in 10 years. And so they just dropped it off and they took off to go to lunch. And all of a sudden, Tiffany comes home and that's what she sees. But you guys want to see the punishment that we put on him?
Yes.
So Tiffany cleaned up all the trash, put it in some Target bags, and we put it on his harness. So he had to carry his trash outside because he had to help clean up his own mess. But look how sad and demoralized he looks. Like, I almost feel bad. It's not like we abused him, but look at him.
He deserves it. He deserves it.
And he never does this. It's a rarity that he does anything bad. It's just they so happened to set a bunch of paper goods out and left it, and he must have been bored. And honestly, it took 2 minutes to clean up. Thank God it wasn't like water or anything dirty. It was paper towels. It wasn't that big of a deal, but wow, what a sight to walk into.
My scare is this, though. I saw the box of Tide Pods. Did he, like, eat one accidentally?
That's what we were afraid of, and he ate some chocolate, which we know dogs are allergic to chocolate, so it was a strange thing.
Maybe he saw the whole TikTok trend of eating Tide Pods and he wanted to get in on
That's
it.
what we were saying. We're like, what are you, a dumbass millennial? Why are you eating Tide Pods? But thank you guys for waking up with the Morning Woodward Show. Thank you to Terry Foster for coming on. And if you downloaded our app, we really want to thank you for that. Everybody that communicated with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter this morning, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. We will be back on 8 a.m. tomorrow morning for Friday. Corey flexing with his T-shirt. If you want that shirt, you can go woodwardsports.com right now. Click on shop, and you can get the Dan Campbell Kneecaps T-shirt. Thank you guys very much. We'll be back on tomorrow, 8 a.m. Baligian and Bell up next at 11.